Thank you for continuing with project management training. This presentation particularly covers the use of a communications plan and its purpose throughout the life cycle of a project. I am Trudy Robinson. The purpose of a communication plan is to enable the stakeholders who are involved in the project or affected by the project to be informed, to have the information that they require when they require it and in the manner that they require it. So the communication plan should include who is receiving communications, what they are actually receiving, when they're going to receive it, and where they can look for it or where they can expect to receive it. Without the communications plan, it's far more haphazard. And the reason the communications plan will work is that these things are thought about and information and feedback is sought from the stakeholders before the communications start to occur. So it is less likely that the stakeholders will be dissatisfied, annoyed or upset because they have not been fully informed. Another reason for having the communications plan is to minimize noise. Now, noise is not, as we've discussed, general noise. It is the particular points of potential interference that may cause or may result in the communications not being understood. So noise might be technology, meaning that a recipient may not have the technology required to interpret or to understand the communication. Noise might also be a language barrier, so that communications being sent out might be in a particular language, but a specific stakeholders group may require the communication in a different language. So noise should be accommodated within the communication plan to ensure that any risk or interruption to the communication and it being understood is mitigated. And also, of course, the methodology being used. We've discussed three methodologies: push, being information that's sent out, communications that are sent out to the stakeholders; pull, where it is placed in a particular location and the stakeholders can go and get access to it when they choose; or interactive, which is more where you provide the information and get responses and feedback at the same time. So a combination of these methodologies should be used to accommodate stakeholder requirements, also considering how frequently the information needs to be sent out and the costs and budgets involved in each. One of the best benefits of the communication plan is that it identifies problems well in advance so that those problems can be either avoided or reduced in impact. So if there are any technological issues, access to information, there's time zones, particularly in large countries like Australia or internationally, that these might be that a particular stakeholder is only available between certain hours via telephone on a particular day of the week. These things need to be understood in advance so that the relevant information can be sent out and received and understood. And of course, personal preference. So if a person resides out in a rural community, they want to receive a printed copy of the project report once a week or once a month, then if they are a critical stakeholder or an important stakeholder, then so be it. That's what they receive. It is planned for in advance in the communication plan. Many people think of a communication plan as the information that is singularly going out from the project to the stakeholders. However, if that was the case, placing information in a particular location, leaving it there and then moving on would be the only thing you'd need to do. It does not happen that way. You need to ensure that the communication plan caters for bidirectional information. It's a two-way street. You need to ensure that the stakeholders have the opportunity of providing information back to the project, the individual or other stakeholders. And it's to your benefit. If you do not know what the stakeholders are doing and feeling before there is an issue, then it's more likely that you'll only ever hear about issues once they've occurred. So better to enable, encourage and respond to the advice or feedback from those stakeholders. Reports are often considered to be a significant part of the communications from the project team. However, in my opinion, reports would only answer about 40% of the communication requirements. The rest of it should be via meetings, via interactive or pull down information. So when we're talking about a balance, as we've just discussed, reports would usually be around 40% of the outward communication from a project. Another form is obviously meetings for a particular purpose. When we discuss a pull methodology relating to information that stakeholders can download or get access to, usually using a technology type environment, that pull environment is usually a progressive build of information, so you don't remove one and put another piece of information up. It means that you can usually go back and look at an archive or a historical sequence of information. And a push situation that we've discussed is when information is sent out as and when required. So you may need to send an email out to international stakeholders once per month, giving them an outline of 3 topics. So whatever information you are sending out, you need to plan for it to ensure that it's the right fit for the appropriate stakeholder with minimal noise, using the right methodology that suits that stakeholder. An essential part of the project is always the project team, and an unhappy team makes an unhappy project. It is far better to ensure that the team are fully informed, they know what's going on, they are involved in resolving any issues or concerns, and they are an integral part of the communications plan. If the team are informed, they can then share and disseminate that information appropriately rather than looking foolish when they get asked questions by their peers or by other stakeholders. They know what to look for, they will provide you with feedback, and they will be the eyes and ears to the project. So ensure that the team is part of the communication plan and that they are continuously informed and respected. In summary, a good communication plan will be prepared to ensure that the stakeholders are identified, who is receiving what, where and when is clearly known in advance, and those stakeholders are prepared and willing to receive the information in that manner. The communication plan should be able to react to changes within the project. It should be able to respond to feedback, advice and information that's received into the project. Information should be shared on an ongoing basis in a controlled manner. It should be able to grow with the project as scope change may occur, and it provides the right balance using the methodologies we have discussed.